And hello and welcome everyone to the Comic Multiverse, where the worlds of nerd meet. It's our 80th episode, Matt.
80 episodes. We'll be at 100 very soon.
It feels like we've said that every week for the last couple weeks, but it doesn't make it any less true that we are narrowing in on what is it? We're narrowing in on 100, and I think like 2 years now of this show, maybe more. I've completely lost track. I'll have to go back and see when the first one got put up.
I think it's just over 2 years. Maybe it's less. I don't know.
Maybe because I'm trying to remember what time we started. We're hitting milestones is the important thing.
Yeah.
The important thing is we've found milestones. We're hitting them. We're hitting the shit out of those milestones is what we're doing. And this week's episode, in honor of nothing, is going to be a slightly different episode this week. There wasn't a hell of a lot of comics coming out. There wasn't a hell of a lot of comic news even this week. It was kind of a light week as we go into the Christmas holiday season.
Yeah, and thank God as well for us. It's like a good and bad thing. It's good because gives us time to catch up on stuff, and it's bad because we want new comics to review.
Yes, I launched not one but two new series on the channel this week. My Eye on Indie, where I took a look at two indie comics from two creators I like and know. And I also did The Story So Far, where I go back and actually look at whole stories now that they're complete and everything. So I finally got to read Bats Out of Hell.
Sounds good. It's pretty good, isn't it?
It was all right. I mean, it kind of sagged in the middle, but so did Gotham Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's very much its spiritual sibling in that regard. I was not expecting them to up Cyborg's power so much and make him so important.
Yeah, he's kind of like the linchpin in all of this now.
I think that's going to be the thing now going into Christopher Priest's Cyborg run, or not Cyborg run, going into his Justice League run. Cyborg is going to be leading the team now, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is hilarious because this week, too, his book got canceled officially. And Semper, the guy who's been writing it and shepherding it from issue 1, he's not even going to finish it. He's done. He's out, and they've got Kevin Garreau to come in and finish.
Oh, no.
Which, hey, don't get me wrong, love me some Kevin Garreau. For those of you who don't know who he is, he was the guy who provided the voice of Black Beetle on Young Justice. He's an accomplished comic writer. He wrote Blue Marvel. And, oh, yeah, he's the big muscle-bound black werewolf in the first Underworld movie.
Nice.
So the man does a lot. He has a hell of a career, and he's going to be finishing the last two issues of Cyborg. I just thought that was so funny that it's like, yeah, let's give Cyborg this monster push right in time for the Justice League movie. Oh, his own book got canceled? Shit. But he'll have a movie in 2020. Probably not.
Yeah, maybe it'll be set not in the DCU and probably will be animated.
But you'll get it. Actually, Bats Out of Hell was interesting, too, because they seek to imply at the end of that Raven and Victor knew each other.
Yeah, they seems to imply that maybe they've had a past, so he's probably been on the Teen Titans.
Yeah, are they backhandedly trying to retcon that back now to be like, no, you see, Victor was a Teen Titan at one point, and then he graduated to the Justice League. But you know what? If that's the new canon, I'd be fine with that. At least say he was a Titan. Even if he was a Titan for a minute, at least say he was a Titan.
I'd be fine with that. Then I'd be wondering, well, why, what happened to the other team members? Did they just, not grow up? Are they all Peter Pan?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, or even more confusing, it's like, well, why of all the guys they chose to, promote? Why did they promote him?
Yeah, exactly.
No offense to Cyborg, I mean, someone's got to work the computers and the boom tubes and everything and be a glorified driver and doorman, but it's like, you got Starfire, who's already kind of old and has basically all the powers of Superman and can shoot laser blasts and is a pretty lady.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, even Raven there, it's like, she's got magic powers. You don't really have a magic member of the Justice League.
Yeah, she'd be very important.
She'd be very damn useful, wouldn't she? Even Beast Boy's a funny guy. You always need a comedian around, and he can turn into a bunch of animals. Again, I'm not saying Cyborg isn't great. I'm just saying compared to other members of other teams he's been on, he always comes up short.
Yep.
But we're not here to bag on Cyborg anymore. We actually have three big things we're going to hit this week on the show. It's going to be, the holy trinity of topics. First up, we're going to talk about the Justice League Infinity War trailer. You knew that had to happen.
The Justice League Infinity War, is there something I don't know?
Yes, Justice League Infinity War. You see, they fused the two universes together now is what they've done. Sorry, Avengers Infinity War. I'm tired, everybody. It's been a long day. We
Justice
record the
League
show.
wishes it was this.
It wishes it was the Infinity War, but man, hey, if Thanos gets that Infinity Gauntlet, he can do whatever he wants. He can fix other franchises. He can cross other franchises over. He can do whatever. But yes, we're going to talk Infinity War. We're going to give our thoughts on Earth X, which I think Matt and I actually have a lot to say, judging by our tweets. And then we're going to close out the show by talking about Punisher because, it's been a week now, and I think everyone's finished it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, first things first, Infinity War, Matt, I feel like I've already talked this one to death, so I'll let you go first.
It's pretty awesome trailer. It wasn't a teaser, it was a trailer.
It was an actual, real deal, honest to God trailer, which is nice.
Yeah, and it was an Infinity War trailer, but it was also sort of a celebration of the first 10 years of Marvel with that line from Nick Fury from the first Avengers being said by all of the Avengers, or most of the Avengers.
Right down to reusing and remixing the original Avengers theme, which is something I didn't know I was nostalgic for until right now.
It's a great theme.
It is. It grows on you. And again, it's funny that, like, Infinity War is almost like their victory lap in many ways, where it's like, hey, we got here. So many other studios, not even just superhero studios, tried to launch their own shared universe, and none of them made it but us. And this is like the cherry on the cake. This is the crowning moment.
It really is, and it's really well earned as well. They didn't rush to this. This is 10 years, or just over 10 years, I think.
Yeah, there's a sense of weight and gravitas, and a sort of like, yep, we made it this far. Yeah. And it's interesting, the trailer already shows us, some of the pairings we're going to be getting there. You got the Captain America crew who are still in Wakanda.
Yeah, they look pretty good. We got Bearded Cap,
who's gone full nomad. I wonder if they're going to call him Nomad in this.
I have a feeling that I don't think they'll give him the code name Nomad. I think they'll bring it up in a sentence like, "You're now a nomad, Cap," or something.
You're a man without a country. You're a nomad now, Steve Rogers.
Yeah,
that's really cool. I mean, I think it's so awesome that Black Panther, his movie hasn't even come out yet, and they're giving him and Wakanda such a strong presence in this trailer, almost like they're telling people, hey, if you were thinking of skipping Black Panther, don't skip Black Panther, because it's really important.
It's very, very smart of them to do that, to like build it up at that Wakanda, and the characters of Black Panther are probably going to be very important, because I guarantee you probably the final Infinity Stone is probably going to be in Black Panther, or hinted at and then fully revealed in Infinity War.
Which the last one is the Soul Stone, and I can think about a dozen ways they could work Black Panther and the Soul Stone together. Be like, hey, this Panther totem I wear around my neck, it's the Soul Stone. It lets me tap into the Panther spirit. Or, oh, hey, the Necropolis, where, the King's Pass, where all their spirits reside. Oh, look, that's also the Soul Stone, or the Soul Stone is there and lets me tap into them. Yeah,
the Necropolis, like, allows them to talk to the people, and it feeds off the Soul Stone or something.
Yeah, it's like literal souls are running around there. So that's going to be good, and I'm going to have my eye open super hard for that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Tony and all of them screwing around in New York. You get Bruce Banner crashing through the window in the Sanctum Sanctorum, very much like Silver Surfer did.
Exactly like Silver Surfer did.
Right down.
I imagine he will be like that. The sort of the same lines telling him that Thanos is coming, because remember at the end of Thor Ragnarok, he was on that ship that was confronted by Thanos.
Yes, absolutely. So how's he back on Earth even? That's a great question.
Yeah.
Thanos hit him so hard he literally flew all the way back to Earth.
And changed back into Banner.
Jesus Christ. He's that strong, man. He can do whatever he wants. We see what looks to be Vision, but in a human form.
That's pretty cool. I feel like he can always do this. I wonder if this is going to be like his human like counterpart that he had in the comics for a little bit, like that disguise he has. I can't remember what he named it, but he had like a human-esque disguise in the comics, and I wonder if that's because he might be on the run or something, or I don't know. It's very strange.
Maybe he's just trying to hide from Thanos, where it's like, look, I need to take a human shape so he doesn't see the big glowy rock on my head that he wants to take.
Well, he always wears beanies and hats and everything.
There you go, to protect it. He's got a vast hat collection, Vision, to hide his glowy diamond. I like to see they're continuing the romance between him and Scarlet Witch because that's just such a wonderfully, essentially comic book thing, and to see it paid such reverence in the movies is really nice.
It's pretty great. I'm interested to see what's going to happen because we know, like, obviously Scarlet Witch can control the stone in Vision's head, as we saw in Civil War. So I wonder if they're going to have that come into play in Infinity War.
Anything is possible at this point. Spider-Man got some cool moments in there. Didn't take over the trailer, which I appreciate. This is an Avengers movie. This is for everyone. We know Spider-Man is most people's favorite, but he's not going to take over the whole thing.
No, we got the Spider Sense, which everyone's saying it's like confirmed, even though it was confirmed in Civil War. And
he had it in Civil War, but then he forgot he had it in Homecoming. Because they wanted to push that new tech suit, so he didn't need to use it. But I do like the visual representation where it's like, oh, when all the hairs stand up on his arm, that's Spider Sense.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, very interesting. Also, the Iron Spider suit. I mean, hey, they made it, so of course he's going to use it.
It looks pretty dope.
It really does. It looks cool. Nice to see it in action. It's also like, hey, enjoy it while you can, because it's probably going to be like the Hulkbuster armor. It's probably going to get broken right away, and we're not going to see it for the rest of the movie. That's another to show you how strong the villain is. He's going to fuck up that armor.
Yeah, fuck up that spider suit.
Oh, no, he's fucking up the suit. Do you know how much that cost? Do you know how much Tony worked on that? Like, a lot. Also, for what little we see of Thanos in this one, he's not fucking around. We get to see him like basically cold cock Iron Man. Then we get to see him like cane choke slam Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's not fucking around at all.
No, he doesn't need a big CGI weapon. He doesn't need a glowy staff. He's just like, no. Let me get my hands on you.
Yeah, he's in his gym bro outfit. He's just come from the space gym.
He's casual Thanos. He's casualing it up all over the place. He's like, look, man, my big armor's getting polished. It's in the shop, but I'm a busy man. I'm a mad titan. I got shit to do. So we're just gonna do this.
His armor's off getting polished with the voodoo hide.
Oh yeah, that's right. Which it's funny, in his casual gear, he looks like Farmer Thanos from the original Infinity War story.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't say there's not a precedent for him looking like that. He just looked like that for a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
It's funny too, his face there, that big close up, the face that launched a million memes. What's your favorite Thanos face meme? We've seen so many.
I like the Homer Simpson one.
That's pretty great. Someone did a Hank Hill one.
Yeah.
Someone did the bit where he puts on the stupid headgear of Steppenwolf from Justice League. And I'm like, well, that was bound to happen. That one was pretty funny. People have gotten really creative about that one. But it's interesting. It's like they can do that and they can poke fun and we can all have a good laugh. But no one's doing it in like a vindictive way or a malicious way. Everyone's just having fun with it.
Yeah, so some of them are pretty fucking funny.
They are. Like, what was it people are saying? Like, oh, he looks like Bruce Willis if he got stung by a bunch of bees. Or like, he looks like the Blue Man Group on a bad day. It's funny. Everyone keeps saying all these other things. Oh, no, he looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin, only purple. And yet people keep saying all these things they think Thanos looks like. No one says he looks like Josh Brolin.
Yeah, maybe they don't know he's playing him. Or like mocapped him. Maybe they just think, oh, he's voicing him.
It blows me away. It's like, how come no one says he looks like Josh Brolin? Because like in Guardians, when we saw him there, it's very clear that they made Thanos' face look more like Josh Brolin. It's kind of funny that now he looks more like the comic version of himself. Like he's kind of gone back and forth. I'd like to see a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah, well, I think people have been doing that as well. They're like, oh, he's changed. The shade of purple has changed or something.
If I was Josh Brolin, I'd be a little upset if I was reading Twitter. It's like, why is no one saying that it looks like me? I wore those purple pajamas and those shit on my face so they could capture me in the computer, and no one's saying he looks like me. What the fuck?
That's all right. People would just be saying he looks like Cable.
That's the thing. He's like, no, I'm not even mad though because I'm going to be Cable and everyone's going to see my face. So whatever. I got 2 paychecks. I got to work for both companies. You wish you were me.
That's gonna be interesting if that Fox deal goes through and whether they'll like still have him on as Cable, and then Cable fighting Thanos or something.
Oh god. Well, if that happens, if that Disney Fox deal, which apparently is gaining more steam as we speak, apparently they heard everyone talk about it when they thought it was going to be a thing. So now they're like really hitting back at it hard. If that becomes a thing, well, obviously Thanos versus Cable needs to be its own spin-off movie.
Totally.
And Josh Brolin's like, well, do I get paid twice? Do I get two paychecks for this one? Because like I'll do it if I get two paychecks. Heck, there's a story out there, Deadpool versus Thanos. Just change a couple things and make it Cable versus Thanos.
There you go, and throw Deadpool in there as well.
Of course, because you want it to make $1 billion, not just $100 million.
And have Deadpool be the only one who realizes that like they've changed from Fox to the Marvel Studios. Have him the only one.
Deadpool comes in, it's like, hey, Cable, things feel kind of different here. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, things do feel kind of different. I don't know, it's like things feel similar, but like I feel like I can't drop any F-bombs or something, or like I can't talk about my dick as much as I used to. It's like I can only say it once or something. It's as if our universe has changed. Oh, well. And then he just starts counting a big thing of money. He's got Mickey Mouse ears on, but only for one frame. Yeah, it's like something's different. I don't know what. I, for one, welcome our new mouse overlords. It's true, Cable. It is the happiest place on Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, then he can start singing Disney songs because we have like what is it? No Strings on Me. They need to like get a Disney song for that all ready to go. Oh, they could dust off Aladdin there because Cable and Deadpool are such best friends. They could be you ain't never had a friend like me. Because Deadpool is basically just the genie of the Marvel universe, is he not?
Yes.
But yeah, Infinity War trailer, just to reel it back there from that fun tangent. What are some other things you weren't expecting that you got from this one?
I didn't really expect like all like the Battle of Wakanda stuff. Like just I wasn't really aware of like the scale they were going for that, and that looks absolutely like Lord of the Rings battle massive.
It's gone full Lord of the Rings, and because Captain America is there, you just know there's going to be a moment where he goes full-on Viggo Mortensen, and he gives a speech to all the people.
Oh, that'd be really great.
There may come a day when the strength of superheroes fails, but that is not this day. We will not go quietly into that night. And T'Challa's just like, dude, this is my country. I should give the speech. Okay, fine, you give the speech. Avengers assemble! Wouldn't that be something if Black Panther beats Captain America to saying Avengers Assemble? Because we haven't actually gotten that in one of these movies yet. They teased it at the end of Ultron.
We're gonna get it in this movie, definitely. They're not gonna, or they're gonna save it for like the end of number 4.
Mm-hmm. It feels necessary, right? It's like, okay, you've hit the checklist of everything you've needed to say and do. Like, this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
What really struck me, and I think it says so much about the pecking order of the heroes in the Marvel Universe, is the position they give the Guardians. They're like the last stinger at the end.
We probably don't want to spoil too much with their story. Their story might be quite, like, Thanos heavy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm certain it is. What with the space connection and everything else. I just thought it was so interesting and so, like, telling that after a whole trailer of, like, oh, do fucking Captain America and Wakanda and, aliens and Thanos and stones. But, oh, yeah, you think that's amazing? You think that's cool? Oh, yeah, the Guardians are in this, too. Yeah, you love them, right?
Here's the Guardians meeting One-Eyed Thor.
King Thor now. We have to address him by his full title. Oh, man, that'd be great when Thor meets Black Panther. He's like, I am king of Wakanda. I'm king of Asgard. Well, it's blown up right now, but I'm still king of it. You can be king of something when it's blown up, right?
Well, Asgard's a people.
Yeah, it's a people, not a place, as we learned that. Only for Black Panther to be like, oh, well, I have a people and a place. I'm not saying I'm a better king than you. I'm just saying I have people and places and things. I have an eye patch, and it's very nice. But yeah, so that's Infinity War. Super cool. We knew it was going to be cool, and I have to say the trailer lived up to the wait.
Yeah, I don't think I need to see any more trailers.
No, it's like you did it in one. You stopped drilling, you hit oil.
And I don't think anyone else does anyway, because it like got to like the most watched video in internet history in like a day.
Wasn't it something like 14 million in the first 30 minutes or something?
Something like that. Yeah, it was something insane.
Again, wrap your mind around that. 14 million people watched it in like the first 30 minutes. And if every one of those people bought a ticket at how much movie tickets are wherever you are in the world.
Yeah. Well, when I was like wondering that because like I saw that, I'm like, wow, I wonder if they would have made money off of like monetizing the video.
Mmm. That's something for people who are better than math than me out there. But yeah, if they freaking monetize the trailer, it's like, hey, you know what? We don't even need to put the movie out anymore. We made it. We made it all
We can
on
put it
YouTube.
out for free now because we made all our money back.
Oh my God. Is that like a thing? Do they not monetize trailers when they put them up for movies on YouTube? Or
I
is that like a weird conflict of like, well, who gets the money on that? Do the people who cut the trailer get it? Do the actors get it?
I honestly don't know. That's why I was really intrigued by it. Like, can they monetize something like that?
Huh. I imagine it would be a legal nightmare as to who would get what. I mean, tell you what, let's ask some of those people who illegally upload trailers on their channel because there's plenty of that. Let's ask them how much they make before they inevitably get shut down because they are stealing other people's stuff.
Maybe it's like what we do, and it's like every other month, they like all the actors and people will get like a little PayPal money.
They get just a little bit, just to get a little chocolate kiss. Like Chris Evans is, living in his mansion on his solid gold iPhone. He's like, oh, I made $50 from Google. Huh? I don't remember doing anything for them. That's nice. That's nice. I'll donate that to a nice charity or something because I'm a nice man. What a fine Chris Evans to be Captain America, where it's like, good job casting like a genuinely nice guy.
Or that they cast Captain America as Captain America.
They really did, because it's like you see him on Twitter there, and he's always, like talking about important causes and defending people here and there. It's like, holy shit, he's the real fucking deal, isn't he? And I guess they had to, Disney, when they were screening him. It's like, look, this guy, Captain America, he's going to be more than an actor in a movie. He's going to be a symbol. He's going to be a guy who's going to get, sick kids calls all the time and everything. We need to make sure he's a dude with no skeletons in his closet. It's like, okay, do you drive drunk? Do you beat your wife? Do you dress up in furry costumes to fuck? What do you do that could get us in trouble, Chris? Okay, you're good? Good. Well, geez, Mr. Disney, I sure don't do any of that. I like a nice cup of tea and reading to my grandma. I was like, okay, then. Okay. You're right. Now, that's not code for anything, right? That's not code for the cocaine? All right, then. Are you on the cocaine, Chris? This is Hollywood. We're all on the cocaine. Or at least crushed up Adderalls. But yeah, so that's Infinity War. Not sure what else to say. I mean, really, we didn't need to say anything. The trailer spoke for itself.
Yeah, everyone saw the trailer, so there'll probably be like that one person who hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, so officially start the hype train engines, everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have to wait for it a little longer, but hey, you got Black Panther to tide us over next month.
Yeah, Black Panther, when's that? Yeah, January, February? Yeah.
February.
God damn.
The black superhero comes out in Black History Month.
There you go.
Which is fitting and kind of how it should be, even if it's like, oh well, that's a little cliche, isn't it? Let's think for a second. Black History Month, the shortest month, the coldest month. They deserve Black Panther in there. I think we all collectively deserve Black Panther in there to make it a little bit better. In fact, if I was a teacher, I'd be like, look, we're going to learn about Nelson Mandela. We're going to learn about George Washington Carver, the peanut butter guy. But if you're really good, we'll learn about King T'Challa and all the good he did in the world. I don't think that's real, Mr. D. It's real to me.
Comics don't lie. Comics are real. God damn it.
He battled for Wakandan rights. He fought the Doom War. We're going to learn all about the Doom War and everything else. Hey, wasn't he married to Storm for a little bit? He was. That was a whole thing. Now, imagine that if Fox and Disney can work their shit out. Maybe Black Panther can be married to Storm.
That'd be pretty cool.
Imagine getting to see that on the big screen. Imagine freaking Aurora Monroe in an X-Men movie to be like, oh yeah, my ex T'Challa, yeah, it's a whole thing. He was a king. Didn't work out. We had a lot of differences. Supposedly, from what I understand, their marriage was actually the first casualty of Disney Marvel losing faith in the X-Men. Actually,
really?
Yeah, that they broke them up because they knew they were never going to get the film deals back, and they hated the idea of what is it, Black Panther, when they were developing the movie, even all the way back then. They hated the idea of Storm and the X-Men possibly getting some sort of boost off the movie, so they're like, oh, we got to break them up as part of Avengers versus X-Men. We got to break them up.
God damn it.
I know, right? It's like, really? Even back then you were so petty? This is nothing new. You've been at this whole time? God damn it. Yeah, that's a little disappointing, but I don't think the movie will be disappointing, and that's the good thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Same here. So I guess with that, everyone, after that, big Marvel talk, we can get into the big DC talk. Last week, we got the big, long-awaited 2-night, used to be 4 nights, but it's 2 nights now, DC CW crossover event that brought together Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow in what was essentially a mini TV movie, Crisis on Earth X.
Yeah, and it was pretty damn good.
It was, wasn't it? Like we if you I'm getting all tongue tied here. If you remember when Matt and I talked about the Dominators one, that was the crossover they did last year. We were kind of like, yeah, it's cool that they're all together, but it suffers from a lot of problems. You can tell when one writing team took over and the other one dropped. It was kind of like Mad Libs or Pass the Parcel with a story.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's cool to see everyone together, but it could be a little bit better. I totally feel on Crisis on Earth X, they took all of, the criticisms and all the problems people had with that one, and they fixed everyone.
Yeah, like what they did with, like, Legends. They listened to us.
They listened, and they made it so much better. In fact, they even kind of throw some shade at the Dominators, because in part 1, Supergirl is beating up a Dominator and says, oh, these guys are so last year.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
This so much self-awareness in this, really smacks you in the face, like at the beginning where it's like, whoa, Supergirl fighting Dominators, whoa, Flash running around doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, this feels like a movie. They put a lot of money into this, clearly.
Yeah, it looked good as well. It looked like a lot better than their usual weekly episodes do. So they've been saving the money up for these episodes.
They've been saving all their pennies. Every corner they cut was all to go into this. And you know what? Was totally worth it. I guess the big underlining story of it that they've been building up to in Flash is that Iris and Barry are getting married, and as such they invite all the characters from all the different shows, all their friends to attend. But oh no, their wedding gets crashed by Nazi superheroes from Earth X.
Yeah, who... this is kind of like what I was weirded out about, like their motivation, which is they want to steal Supergirl's heart because their Overgirl is dying thanks to too much yellow sun radiation.
Much like Superman and All-Star Superman. I'm like, oh, that's a cool way if you're going to kill a Kryptonian. That's how you do it.
Yeah, she even sort of exploded like him in that when she started like getting all like glowy and stuff and then blew up.
She explodes like Superman, and then Supergirl falls to Earth like Superman in Dark Knight Returns after the nuke blew up in his face.
Yeah.
So again, that's just a couple of the many like visual references this episode makes. What's great about it too is that, if all the other ones we've seen before, like the Vandal Savage one and the 2-night Arrow Flash one, those felt more like crossovers. That's, hey, here's a hero showing up in a book or a show in this case that they don't normally show up in. Isn't that nice? This really was an event because they stripped away even all the branding. So instead of like the Supergirl intro coming up or the Flash intro coming up, it was the Earth X intro that came up.
Yeah, and it like sort of like combined all the theme songs of the shows together into this one really cool looking title sequence.
Very. That it's also like, all those other crossovers you could see where the lines were, where it's like, okay, I'm watching an episode of Flash where other characters are guest starring, or I'm watching an Arrow episode where other characters guest star. Here, there were no lines. Everyone kind of works together and revolves around each other like they would in an event comic.
Yeah. It was so like way above the other ones. Like they took on so much of that criticism from the last couple of ones that it paid off in this one.
Like third time is definitely the charm, and they figured it out. And also too, they even managed to save some fun money too by using like evil Earth X counterparts. That means everyone gets to pull double duty. And I love evil Supergirl because she's got her black and red costume. Everyone is black and red. But how's the other thing we know that she's evil? Oh, her lipstick is a darker shade.
And she talks with like a snobbish sort of accent.
She starts sounding all condescending and everything. Man, hats off to all the actors for like getting to play evil. You could tell they were having so much fun getting to play two characters.
Even like the characters who the one I was really surprised at was Supergirl's supporting cast, with Winslow Slott being sort of like this general on Earth X, and him playing this role that's totally different from his character in Supergirl.
Oh yeah, they got to go full Days of Future Past there for a second. Heck, even what is it, Black Canary's dad, who like I totally forgot about that character. He shows up playing like an evil Amon Goth Nazi, and I'm like, holy shit, he's pretty good at this.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He likes biting into those R's.
Oh yeah, he bit into those super hard. Even the bit he has with White Canary, being like, "Oh, I had a daughter like you once. She didn't meet our Nazi ideal, and as such, I had her expunged." I'm like, "Holy shit!" Even the fact too in 2017 where they're like, no, the villains are Nazis. They're going to wear Nazi uniforms. They're going to have swastikas. They're going to be our bad guy.
Yeah, I kind of figured like because of like it was on network TV across America, I thought they're probably not going to go with the whole Nazi thing, or they're going to show a couple of the swastikas here and there, but it's not going to be massive 200-foot tarps on like buildings and stuff like they had.
Yeah. Like, you thought they were going to go fancier, like, fantasy Nazi with it, where it's like, oh, it's not really a swastika, but it, like, kind of looks like one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went whole hog into it, and I'm like, good, because by doing that, I don't have to feel bad when any of our heroes murder people. Heck, even Green Arrow, who I normally have a problem with him killing people, I'm like, no, Nazis, not real people, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. They're bad people.
The bad people and bad multiversal people on top of it. So they're like 3 degrees of don't count when you kill them. It's A-okay. Oh, no, wait, sorry. I don't mean Nazi. I mean people feeling a great amount of economic pressure, Matt, is the thing. They felt so much economic pressure they wanted to conquer other worlds to relieve this economic pressure. Yeah, it's hard to believe in 2017 that one of the coolest things a show can do is be black and white about it and be like, no, the guy who calls himself the Fuhrer and runs superhuman concentration camps, they're the bad guys. Also, too, man, one of the coolest things, too, to get to see all these characters together, where it's like, wow, we've got characters from different timelines and different Earths all coming together in this one place. Could this feel more comic book?
Yeah, I know. It's really quite strange, yeah, especially like that first episode where everyone's sort of like rushing to get to the wedding and everything. Mm-hmm. You've got all these different characters coming to the wedding: Kid Flash, Supergirl, the Legends, although like only 2 Legends.
Yeah, well, only 2 Legends knew them well and deserved an invitation.
The good Legends like Mick.
Exactly. We need some comedy relief here. Man, once again, Heatwave just tries to steal the goddamn show in every scene he's in. I love when he realizes, oh yeah, the West Allen wedding. This is a cop wedding, isn't it? Shit.
Yeah, he's sitting next to director Singh.
Yeah, friend of the bride or friend of the groom? Well, I tried to kill the groom a couple times, so bride, I guess? That was like a great sight gag that he was sitting next to the friggin' police commissioner.
Yeah, that was great.
The action scenes were really tight too. Like you could tell they got the Arrow choreography people on this. Like I don't like Arrow, but I cannot deny Arrow has the best fight scenes.
They had some really cool fight scenes in this.
That bit in the church was great. That bit at the end where they go full on Star Wars and they're like, oh, you got people fighting on the ground, you got people fighting in the air, you got everything.
Yeah, that was so good.
Also, too, everyone felt useful and they found a use for everyone, even if it was only for a minute. So, it's like a Arrow Scooby gang of Wild Dog and Ragman and whoever the fuck those people are. They got a moment. They got beaten, but they got a moment. They got to do stuff and they helped out, even though they are still just Arrow Scooby gang.
Yeah, they just kind of appeared just to help out a little bit.
they helped out a little bit, and it was fine. Heck, even them teaming up Iris and Felicity, where for a second there I'm like, oh no, the two most unlikable characters together.
Oh no, this is gonna be like that episode recently.
This is like Scrappy Doo meets frickin' what is it, Batmite.
Only
or
worse.
Or like Scrappy Doo meets Poochie. Although actually here's the funny thing, like real talk in this situation, Felicity might be annoying, but she's much more useful than Iris.
Yeah. She can tap the computer keys and the hacks.
She taps it and makes stuff happen. You know what Iris's great moment was in this? The big thing she did. Do you remember what her big thing was that she did?
What was it? Remind me.
When they were all up in the airship and they were fighting the Nazi airship, Felicity's like, oh, I made a worm or a bug or whatever, or I did the thing on the computer. Iris is like, okay, I'll send it. And I'm like, this is what Iris offers. She can click forward on a keyboard. That's what she brought
she
to the
presses
party.
the enter button.
I can send it. I can send it for you. And I'm like, nice. Okay. I mean, hey, it's your wedding day. I'm not going to harp on you too hard. Whatever. We got to see the Ray in here too. We got a lot of characters. Like the Ray had a whole big thing. Wentworth Miller came back, not as Captain Cold, but as Citizen Cold.
He was like the best thing ever. He was having so much fun.
Which is so sad that this is like his last one for a bit, where they're like, oh, this is his send-off. And I'm like, please don't make it his send-off. He's so wonderful.
Yeah, especially as Citizen Cold. He was fantastic. He's got the glasses and the hood up and everything.
He's got everything. It's like, I'm even more Captain Cold than I was before.
Yeah, the Ray, though, I don't really care about the Ray. I like him more in the comics than this. It might have been because the special effects on him didn't look very good, and the costume wasn't very good, but I didn't care for him at all.
He's a little white meat baby face, but they definitely put like a pin in there to where it's like, hey, if you like him, he will come back in other stuff.
Yeah, because he was from Prime Earth or Earth 1 or whatever they call it.
Yeah, main Earth, which gets a little confusing because he goes back to Earth X to finish unfinished business, but Citizen Cold, who's from there, decides to stay on main Earth.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll get back to you. Which, hey, also too, hey, quite the gay subplot between those two, because obviously Wentworth Miller is gay in real life, and so that finally got to work for his character now. That was a great reveal to where it's like, you know, they're in the concentration camp and we see the stars on them and everything, which is a real thing from World War II history. Yep. And then to find out, oh, they're together. Oh, that's cute. That's fun.
Yeah, that whole concentration camp thing was actually pretty good. It was serious, but there was some funny stuff happening in there as well.
Was brutal as fuck, and I liked them to remember, like, oh yeah, Dr. Stein, yeah, shit, he's Jewish. He probably feels a lot about this, doesn't he? And indeed he did. Man, speaking of Stein, him and Jax had a hell of a storyline that went through this whole thing. Obviously, they set up on Legends that, you know, Stein wants to leave and resume his normal life. Also, the actor wants to leave and go sing on Hello, Dolly, but hey, whatever. And so they have, like, a great moment there. It's like, oh, I think we can break up now. But, you know, Jack's like, well, I don't want you to leave because you're basically like my surrogate father now and everything.
Yeah, the scene, and obviously, spoilers, the scene where Stein dies is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It's really well done. A beautiful exclamation point to that character. And I can't believe it's a storyline that started on Legends, and it's one of the best of the crossover.
Yeah, yeah.
To think all the shit we talked about Legends in Season 1 and Season 2, and now they've executed probably one of the finest storylines of this whole DC TV thing.
Yeah, well, it paid off to, like, stop taking it so seriously and start having fun with the concept.
The second you stop taking it seriously, I could start taking it seriously. It's amazing how that works. I'm just trying to think, you know, there was like so many layers to this, you know, there was so much shit going on. Metallo shows up out of the blue and he looks straight up like a Terminator. That's great.
He looks cool. He's even voiced by the guy who played Metallo on Supergirl, which I thought was really cool. Getting him back for like 2 lines.
Pretty solid. Tom Cavanaugh getting to reprise his role as Reverse Flash, who's part of like the third part of the Dark Trinity with the Fuhrer and Overgirl.
Not just any Reverse Flash, the original Earth 1 Flash. I'm like, how?
Don't ask, that's how.
Yeah, well, they give like a really shitty explanation for it. They're like, "Oh, time travel." I'm like, "You were ripped apart by Speed Force demons."
They hand wave it away as like, you know what, Reverse Flash is complicated, which in fairness, yeah, he's complicated in the comics too. God blew him up and he still came back.
And I understand like that, like they left it open so that he could come back. Tom Cavanaugh could come back as Reverse Flash, but like when Barry let him go, I'm like, you idiot.
They were at a hell of an impasse though. He's like, look, it's been shown that I can't kill you because you'll just come back at some other point in time. You can't kill me because if you kill me, you cease to exist. We're at an impasse.
Why not just throw him into the Speed Force prison?
Yeah, that's an option. So you could get
Jay Garrick's in there. He can look after him.
Is Jay Garrick back in there again, or did Jay Garrick just wander off?
Whenever John Wesley Shipp wants to come back, he'll come back.
Jay Garrick should have gone into the Speed Force again, but he didn't because Barry needed to make a sacrifice, and it's a whole thing. It's nice too to get John Cavanaugh back as Reverse Flash because he was the best one. No offense to the dude who played him later and the dude who played him on Legends. He was just a better Reverse Flash. He had better chemistry with Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
Also, too, him being Reverse Flash means we don't have to yet again suffer through evil Barry, because as we've seen from Savitar, Grant Gustin sucks at being evil.
Yeah, he just kind of grows out his hair a little bit and little peach fuzz mustache.
It's a little wispy stash of evil.
I'm evil.
And the show doesn't even try to explain what's like, well, what happened to Earth X Barry Allen? Is there an Earth X Barry Allen? Just don't think about it.
Yeah, a lot of the heroes, they're just like, they make like a reference to like Reverse Flash killing Superman. The episodes open with them killing the Guardian, who looks more like the Guardian in the comics than the Guardian on Supergirl.
Don't lose that costume. That's a really good costume. Don't lose it.
To just suddenly have him wearing it. He hasn't worn it a couple of times. He hasn't worn it, I think, at all this season in Supergirl. So like, just change it up. Just change it.
They should literally have Jimmy just be like, hey, I was thinking about it, and I think I'm going to change the colors on this. I think the only thing I really complained about, and I complained about it in the first 2 episodes, but they actually fixed it by the end, was Alex and White Canary, where it's like, oh, hey, we have 2 gay characters in a scene together. Obviously, they need to sleep together because, as hacky TV writers, all gay people instantly like each other.
Yeah, I didn't really like that either. I thought that was cliche.
Cliche, lazy, hacky, and worse still, where it's like you have a gay subplot with the guys later on, and that was way better handled. Probably helps that Wentworth Miller is gay in real life and as such is probably given notes, unlike the 2 women actors who I looked into this and are just gay for pay on television.
Yeah.
Although that being said, they fixed it in the next couple episodes, because when they were fighting side by side and when they kind of had the conversation about both being sisters and what that meant to them, all I could think was like, this is so good. Why didn't you open with this? Why did you do the hacky thing? You had good material here. You should have opened with the good material.
Yeah.
But then we couldn't have 2 women kiss on television, though. We really wanted that. We love making them kiss each other, which is even funnier, too, because it's like they've kind of even toned that stuff down in Legends, where it's like, one of the hackier parts of Legends writing was that Sarah always had to say, well, as a gay woman, well, as a bisexual. And, like, no one talks like that.
Yeah, or, like, everyone would fall for her or something. Like, in that second season, that was all that was happening with her character. But, yeah, it hasn't happened in a long time in this new season.
No, it hasn't. Thank God they finally got it with. I feel like someone talked to the actress on that one. Like, someone said, look, we love getting some representation on TV and everything, but can you pull it back a little bit? We're not all like that in real life. But yeah, I mean, overall, Earth X is just really solid, like so good. I'm like, okay, these are a yearly occurrence now. How are you going to top it next year?
Yeah, exactly. Like, where do they go?
Here's the thing. Well, I mean, by that time, we'll probably have Black Lightning and God knows what else by that time. But to me, I'm almost like, you know what? Maybe don't do it next year. Maybe make it like an every 2 years kind of thing.
Well, now that I'm probably get hateful comments in the comment section for this, but now that the DCEU is basically tanked, can we get like maybe Superman joining in, maybe a Batman, maybe a Wonder Woman?
You know how you do that? For next year's big CW crossover, someone kidnapped Superman, and Supergirl needs to go to all the other shows and recruit all the other heroes to help her. And she's like, look, if someone can kidnap my cousin, this has got to be huge. And then we hear through the grapevine, too, oh, he wasn't the only one they captured. There's this Dark Knight of Gotham they got, and this warrior woman from Europe who's a big deal. And it's like, that's how you work your Trinity in. So the CW heroes literally need to stage a rescue to go save the Trinity.
That'd be pretty cool.
And you can make it like, you know what you could do? Mongol kidnapped them to go fight on Warworld, and you do a version of Warworld where all the heroes have to go and fight to save the Trinity.
That'd be so cool.
That would be, and again, you could do Mongol on a budget. Like,
they do stuff like King Shark and Parasite and like all the stuff that was in this show proves that they could do it.
And like Mongol's not that crazy looking, and Warworld wouldn't be that expensive to build. Just build that one set and use it for the whole thing. Like, that's another thing about EarthX. Very smart in how they chose their sets, because it's like, oh, the Resistance base is just the Arrow show base, but moved around a little. Oh, where are they going to have their wedding rehearsal? Oh, they're going to have it at Jitters Coffee because we have that set handy.
Yeah, they used like all the sets they already had pre-built, and just different lighting. Just put some stuff around a little bit more. That's good set design. That's good set design.
That's good set design. That's good budgeting. You don't need a lot of money to make it look really good. And I think, like, even just from a filmmaking point of view, EarthX, I'm like, good job, guys, for pulling it out, and good, like, making it make sense in the story and everything.
Yeah.
Or, hey, you know, barring that, you know what else they could do next year? Make it another big musical episode, but starring everybody. even the people who can't sing, get them in.
Even Mick.
Even especially
like drunk Mick.
Ah, God. That was real good, champ. That was real good. Or like, what's a movie everyone knows? Like maybe like Mr. Mxyzptlk messes with their heads and makes them like redo the Star Wars movies or something.
Yeah, well, something that they had, something that like Warner Brothers has access to, like old movies like Gone with the Wind and stuff like that.
You redo Gone with the Wind, but with all the CW superheroes. Yeah, you do like a big Warner Brothers thing that they own, and you just get all the actors playing parts. Where it's like, look, we had a serious one last year. Let's have a fun one this year. But yeah, EarthX, not only did I like this, but unlike all the other crossovers, I will probably go back and watch this again.
Yeah, I definitely will too. It did, however, suffer from a little bit of those logic-y things that the DC TV shows have, but it was really fun.
Dips in the middle a bit, as is often the case, but you know, it starts strong, it ends strong, and overall, I really enjoyed it. I think this is like, you know, the cherry on top of the CW DC experiment. This is their victory lap. This is like their, hey, look what we can do.
Yeah, the thing is as well, it's even like worse when you think that like we had Justice League come out and be what it is, and then this come out a couple of weeks later and just be absolutely amazing.
I'm glad you said it so I didn't have to, but yes, EarthX was everything I wanted Justice League to be, and EarthX was as good as it was because it took its time. It was characters I like and have grown to enjoy over multiple years, and again, that's a benefit of doing television. You can tell longer form stories. That's just the nature of the beast, but still, when it worked, it worked.
Yeah, and the thing is, it wasn't afraid to be a comic book show.
No, it really wasn't. In fact, it was more comic book than it's ever been. Alternate Earths, crazy Nazi supervillains. Superhero weddings, even.
Yeah.
Which is such a hallmark of comic books.
Superhero deaths and funerals and stuff like that.
Yes. Literally, who was it I was reading online? They said EarthX is literally 2 weddings and a funeral. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really is. Holy crap.
It was 2 weddings and a funeral. Oh, my God. That was a nice moment, too, where everyone got to throw a bit of dirt on the casket and everyone got to say a little something.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
That was touching. Heck, if Victor Garber, if he's done on Broadway by the time next year rolls around, they could also totally search for Spock it and make it be the search for Stein. Where, look, before he died, Jax, he gave you a bit of his soul, and now we need to go and find him.
He did the Vulcan mind meld with him. Oh no, it wouldn't be with Jax. It'd be with someone like, it'd have to be like the Scotty or so like Ray or someone.
There you go. When he touched you, he gave you a piece of himself. And now we all have to get on the Wave Rider, and we all have to go into space to find him. The search for Stein. Oh, and then much like Search for Spock, Victor Garber can direct it. How about that?
There you go.
You can come. Look, there you go, CW. I wrote your next crossover. Check. Just put the check in the mail. Just put the check in the mail. So yeah, I guess moving on from there and continuing the trend of overwhelming positivity, we can talk about The Punisher now. I finished watching it at the end of last week.
I'll let you talk about it since it's more fresh in your mind.
Right. Pretty cool. It was a cool show. It's definitely in my top 3 now of Netflix shows, without a doubt. Like, I mean, like, after the first couple episodes, I'm like, yep, this has surged into the top 3 of them. It takes a lot of, twists and turns that I was not expecting them to do for a Punisher show. And ultimately, at the end of the day, provides us with a more sympathetic and more human Frank Castle than I think we've gotten in a long, long time.
They make it human and everything, but they don't they don't fetishize what he does. They still say, no, this is wrong what he's doing. This is terrible what he's doing. He's a terrible person, but he's trying to do good.
Yeah, much like in Daredevil season 2, they don't fall into the trap of trying to make the Punisher too cool. So it's like, he doesn't envision ironic deaths for the criminals, and he doesn't have like a catchphrase or anything like that. It's as I said when we watched the trailers, I'm like, oh, it's Punisher by way of Jason Bourne. All right.
Yeah, and it worked. It worked for it.
It did work. It was definitely, if I had to place its reference pool, it was definitely taking a lot more from like early Chuck Dixon War Journal Punisher than it was like Garth Ennis Punisher Max. But the thing too, it's like, as I had to tell myself at the end of it, I'm like, oh, this is a young Punisher, though, in his first season. He's not as bitter as he is or as old as he is by Max. If, God willing, this gets a few more seasons, we could still probably get to Max at some point.
Yeah, Max by, like, the 3rd or 4th season or something, after a couple of years have gone by.
Yeah, it's like, you thought Frank Castle didn't give a fuck before. No, he needs to get older and bitterer before he cannot give a fuck. And hey, you know what? That'll probably happen too around the same time Karen Page is dead. That would be the perfect thing to catapult him further, because Karen Page actually ends up being a pretty big part of this show as well.
Yeah, we didn't have Rosario Dawson come back.
No.
So she's sort of like taken her place as like the Phil Coulson of the Netflix series.
Yeah, exactly. The Phil Coulson, the one who brings it together, almost kind of the angel on the shoulder too, in a lot of ways. The Punisher, which he usually does not get in stories anymore.
No. So it was really good seeing her sort of trying to, I guess, save Frank.
Yeah, that's her arc too, where it's like, hey, after hanging out with all these heroes, I want to save somebody too, and this is like my mission to save the person everyone else gave up on.
Yeah.
She features quite prominently too, and actually has a great moment in probably my favorite episode of the season. I think it's like the 3rd to last one. I can't remember. It's it's the one where where Lewis, our crazy Unabomber guy, tries to kill that politician. Karen ends up getting taken hostage, and her and Frank kind of work together, talking the guy down and eventually killing the shit out of him.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That whole episode was good, and what I really loved about that episode is that it played with the chronology of events. They basically do that Akira Kurosawa Rashomon thing, where it's like, hey, let's see the same event, but let's see it from 3 different vantage points.
Yeah.
I'm a big sucker when stories do that, and I really enjoyed the shit out of that. Hell, I guess let's talk about Lewis too, because Punisher, unlike Daredevil and unlike Jessica Jones, it didn't have one main villain. It had like three smaller villains. We had Rollins, we had a greatly reworked Billy Russo, and then we had Lewis as kind of this kill crazy Unabomber dude who had a pretty meaty side plot of this season.
All the side plots in this show were really good and like had a big satisfying payoff as well.
That's probably the best thing about Punisher. When I stop and think about it, it has all the same, like, side plot isms that, like, well, not Defenders, but like Iron Fist had and Luke Cage had. Mm-hmm. The only difference is unlike the fucking Meachums, I actually cared about the side plots that were going on in Punisher. And the side plots, too, did a good job reinforcing the themes of the Punisher. They deal a lot with PTSD and what soldiers do when they come back home and everything. And we see Agent Madani, who's a lot like Agent O'Brien from Max, actually, where, she's like trying to solve a case that no one wants her to solve. And, she's kind of sympathizing with the Punisher and trying to hunt him at the same time. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her character and her partner, can't remember what he's Stein was he who I also dies. Wow, something with that name Stein that just wants to kill a character off.
bad week to be a Stein. It's funny when that guy first showed up and he's like, oh, I'm a goofy cop, I literally thought he was going to be Detective Soap for a minute.
I did as well. I'm like, oh, is this like a reworked like Soap or something? He's going to be working with this new character, and no, apparently not.
Soap for season 2 is my pitch. Soap needs to be the cop in season 2, because here's the thing, there's a lot of great material for Soap. Like, Soap is built to be a side plot in a Netflix show, because like Garth Ennis kept coming back to him and like he was pathetic and horrible, and yet like Ennis really seemed to sympathize with him at the same time.
Yeah, I'd like to see him in season 2.
He was a lovable loser, that's for sure. Another thing about how they kind of sympathize and rework the Punisher in ways I was not expecting, they really go out of their way in this show to be like, no, Punisher, we swear the Punisher and we swear Frank Castle is not the people in real life who are creepily into the Punisher. He's not racist. He doesn't enjoy killing at first anyway, and he doesn't hate the government. That's why I think they invented that Lewis character and why he worked so hard. Where it's like, no, Lewis is your preconceived notion of what the Punisher is.
They had him, and they had him, and they had that other guy in those meetings that obvious gun rights, government taking our guns.
Alex Jones, the tap water's turning the frogs gay. Yeah. Like, I'm like, if he literally says water's turning the frogs gay, I will know. And then to make him a fraud and to make him a bullshitter and to make like his last betrayal be the thing that tips Lewis over the edge, I thought was really well done.
Yeah, it was. His story was really well done.
Even Frank's buddy, who runs like the support group for all the vets and everything. I'm like, well, that's good. That's a nice humanizing thing to be like, look, there are veterans who can get their life back on track and everything. I'm like, that's good.
Yeah, I thought that character as well was really good as well.
And stuck around for the whole show. I thought they would kill him for like a cheap pop.
That's what I thought was going to happen with like Lewis. Lewis killed that Alex Jones guy, and then when he kills that guy, that's going to be the thing that sets Frank off.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some other cool things? Microchip was very well handled here. They do something very interesting with Microchip, because it's like in the comics, he was just a guy who was good at computers and kind of believed in what the Punisher was doing because his own son was murdered. Here, they take him and make him like an NSA analyst who got burned because he got too close to a secret. And then they take it to another level by giving him like the inverse of Punisher's own tragedy, where his family isn't dead. They think he's dead and he can't come near them, or else, he'll blow the secret.
Yeah, and his story was really great. I'm really glad they actually changed him and gave him a bit more from the comics. But yeah, it was really great. It was great seeing like Frank sort of take over his position in the family as well, and at the beginning of their relationship sort of use that against him.
Oh yeah, and become just dangerously inches close to fucking his wife.
Oh, very, very close.
He's like, I'm gonna do it. No, but I might. I could. I could if I wanted. I was this close, man. The only thing about Microchip I didn't like is that he wasn't a big fat guy. Because in the comics, he's a big fat stereotypical computer nerd. Because I'm like, hey, that's a part I could have played.
I think they couldn't get Wayne Knight to come back and play him.
No. Although, seriously, if they got Newman back to play him, I wouldn't have a problem with that. That would be pretty fun. Just out of the blue, it's like, yeah, the Punisher and Newman. The action scenes were really interesting in this, too, and I think they do a good job differentiating themselves from all the other Marvel shows, because, once again, here's a hero with no traditional powers, no super strength, you punch him, he bleeds, you shoot him, he almost dies. He's not so much a hand-to-hand combatant, they really up the gunplay in this show, as they should.
Yeah, the gunplay and sledgehammer play.
Oh man, dude, he goes full Triple H on those guys in the beginning. He just takes them to
I was just waiting for that to happen. I was like, oh, when's he going to kill these construction workers? When's he going to kill them? When's he going to kill them?
The second they come up and they're like being mean to him, it's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And they're armed robbers on the side. And they owe money to the Nucci's. Oh, you're so fucking dead. You guys are so dead. You don't even know. So fucking dead. I love that too. Like I popped super hard when I heard the Nucci family. Like, the Nucci's exist in this world. I love that so much. Another Garth Ennis creation. Which, if the Nucci's exist, that means Ma Nucci exists, which means the story where they try and feed him to a polar bear and the Punisher ends up punching a polar bear could possibly happen.
Oh, it's season 2. That's the end, the last episode. He's gonna punch a polar bear.
Season 2, Zoo Showdown. It's just John Bernthal punching animals.
I'd really like if season 2 like changed it up for us. Like season 1 was like the Jason Bourne-ish. Season 2 goes into more of like the organized crime family, and Frank just like killing like mafia dons and stuff like that.
I would like that too. I can understand why they didn't do it for that for this first season, because we got a lot of that in Daredevil and they didn't want to repeat themselves. We get a little taste of it at the beginning where he goes around and he kills the last of the bikers and the cartel and the Irish.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
That was a great way to start the show, and it's funny too. You and I were even saying like, man, I can't wait for Punisher, because we know we won't have to wait all season for him to put a costume on, because he got a costume at the end of Daredevil. Then he burns it in the first 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh, god damn it, we're going to have to wait till the end for him to put it back on, aren't we?
Yeah, but he does. He does.
He does. And when he does, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And he has a reason to. He wants to quit being the Punisher. This whole season is basically about how much Frank doesn't want to be the Punisher until he comes full circle and gets back to it.
Yeah, and realizes that he kind of has to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the real thing. And yet also kind of tries to find help at the end. I'll be interested to see where season 2 goes, because again, more sympathetic, more human, more mentally stable Punisher than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The stuff they did with Russo is interesting, because obviously, as any Punisher fan can tell you, Russo eventually becomes Jigsaw, the only recurring Punisher villain anyone can name. He's not a random criminal, yet at least. They make him Punisher's war buddy, which was kind of a compelling idea, especially because in the comics, we don't really know that much about Jigsaw's early life, so they can make that change, and it's not that much of a betrayal.
Well, also, then there comes that thing, like, he's basically another Frank, like, so he's trained up like Frank. So where if he was just like a lowly criminal, people would be saying, well, why doesn't the Punisher just shoot him? Why does he keep getting away? Now there's a reason. He's a Marine. He's trained to get away.
He's another basic super soldier. Yeah, because that was always the problem in the comics too. It's like, really, why Jigsaw of all people keeps recurring? Why is he so hard to kill? Like, Punisher kills everyone else, no problem. Why does this one fat dude with the scars keep coming back? But yeah, he was good, that actor who played Billy Russo, and they definitely gave him a lot more depth and everything, to where it's like, oh, he was an orphan and he never felt he was good enough, and he was secretly resentful of Frank and everything. And how, like, Frank was willing to go against authority. This dude wanted people to love and accept him so much, he just kind of went along with anything.
Yeah, it was really compelling stuff, what they did with him.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's funny, too, he works for Rollins, and Rollins is actually a villain from the comics. He's the villain in Up is Down, Black is White, I think. He has an eye patch in the comics, and they kind of keep that in the show, where he's got, like, a milky eye where the Punisher punched him.
Yeah, and they even get sort of like get into that a little bit.
Mhm. They did take away his villainous bisexuality, and that's probably for the best because like Garth Ennis is one of those writers where you can see his views have changed and evolved as a writer. So it's kind of funny for like Rollins in the comics where it's like not only is he evil, but he's also gay on top of it. It's like, yeah, I can see why you changed that for the show. Although there was a second there, because again, in the comics, Rollins has a relationship with Nikki, whatever, basically, another evil mobster who the Punisher is fighting. I'm like, are they gonna give that relationship to him and Billy? Is that gonna be like the big twist on top of it? Wouldn't that be some shit? They don't, but I kept thinking that might happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, really, what else is there to say about Punisher? I think my favorite bit, like my favorite action scene, is when they actually go back and actually let you see, like Frank's final mission, the one he talks about when he's on the stand in Daredevil.
That one was pretty good. I like the one where he was trying to track down one of his old squad members in the woods. I thought that was a really cool scene.
That was really well done. That was very Rambo. I like that.
Yeah, and especially like the last episodes as well, where he just goes like full Punisher on people, and the fight he has with Russo, where he's like running his face down the broken glass and everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, as soon as they like showed the merry-go-round glass, I'm like, oh, guess whose face is going through that? Guess who ain't gonna have a face at the end of this? I know. Even what is it, Jigsaw's death trap at the end, like, oh, it's a merry-go-round of death and I have 2 hostages, and I'm like, man, this is comic books right here. You can only save one, Frank. What will you do?
I'll punch you in the face with glass. That's what I'll do.
Yeah. I'll glass punch the shit out of your face. Man, I loved it too. It was like a video game where it's like the Punisher, he's all tortured. He's like, oh, is this my good death? Am I allowed to die now? Can I finally let go? Only for Rollins to be like, I'm going to give you adrenaline so I can keep torturing you. And as an audience member, I'm like, that was a bad idea. You just gave him the big power up.
You gave him the steroid, the super soldier serum. No.
And then when he kills him too, he basically does him like Bruce Willis does the Yellow Man in Sin City, where he like turns his head to pulp.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. Pretty freaking sweet, awesome. I mean, really, do we have much more to say than that? I mean, Punisher, it works. It's like the kind of comic property that was just made for Netflix.
Totally, absolutely.
It was made for Netflix. It succeeds because Jon Bernthal is great in the role. Some more interesting villains might have been nice, and we're probably going to get that later. But this one is helped out too by having a lot of more interesting supporting characters and more interesting side plots. More of this, please, if this becomes a thing.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they took on the criticisms of the other shows, whereas the B plots in those weren't really that good. And this one, they sort of worked at it a little bit more. And the strange thing is, it's the same length as those shows. I thought it was originally 10 episodes, like Defenders was. So,
yes.
But like it didn't feel like it was a drawn out thing.
No, and the pacing is different on it too, where it's like it is kind of episodic in its own way, because like every Marvel Netflix show is paced differently. This one is definitely paced more like a TV show with stops and starts.
Yeah,
which I like, because I think that's better for binge watching. I like to know, okay, I watched this, that's my accomplishment for tonight, I can stop here and start again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, any closing thoughts for Punisher now, or does that just about cover it?
That about covers it. I'm really looking forward to next season and what else they'll do with the character, where he'll come up next in the Netflix universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what comes next for Netflix? I guess it's Daredevil season 3 is next.
Oh, I don't know. I know they've just finished Luke Cage, and they've just I think they've just started Iron Fist season 2 and Jessica Jones season 2.
I'm assuming Daredevil is next because we got that little teaser for it, and Vincent D'Onofrio was talking about it.
Yeah, I know. I think they're filming it now, but I guess maybe it might be like whatever finishes filming first. Oh,
yeah,
where it fits in the story or something. I don't know
exactly, and it's also like I don't know how Netflix works. They could film these shows and then sit on them until it's time.
Yeah.
because they're all done is the thing. They're all done by the time they put them up. And hell, sometimes Netflix is like, hey, do you want to see the new season of Orange is the New Black like a week early? Okay, cool. We're going to put it up then.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't stop us. We're Netflix. We own our own content. We do whatever we want. We do whatever. We're the real power here. So yeah, I mean, I guess we'll start winding down the show then for this week, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and listening. We hope you enjoyed it. We will, for the month of December, try very hard to get content out to you, even if it's not the most cutting edge at the time content. I know Matt was very nice to put out a poll online for what our next commentary track is going to be. It's been a while since we've done one, and we're probably going to do it. What movie did everyone want us to do there, Matt?
Everyone wanted us to do Spider-Man Homecoming.
Fair.
Yeah, it was very, very close there for a while. It was between that and Star Wars Episode 7. It was very, very close.
Mm-hmm. Which, man, can you believe we're going to have Star Wars in like a little under a week?
Next week, I see it.
Hot damn. Man, I'm trying to work this out. I'm like, okay, can I see the Disaster Artist and Star Wars?
I'm seeing Disaster Artist this week.
Nice. It looks so good, doesn't it?
It does.
Did you notice that like the promotion of that movie changed like halfway through from like, oh hey, it's another, fun stoner comedy with James Franco and Seth Rogen, to now when you see the trailers it's like, oh, this is a serious Oscar movie contender.
Yeah, I think they maybe realized, hey, we could probably maybe get an Oscar for something in this. Wouldn't that be fucked up? Like a movie based on the worst movie ever made wins an Oscar for being the best movie made.
Or just James Franco's performance of this insane alien person, because I think that's what they're looking for more than anything. Best actor for James Franco, which, man, that would be the perfect just ribbon to tie up the Tommy Wiseau saga. Makes a terrible movie, gets an amazing cult following. James Franco makes a movie where he plays him perfectly, and then his good playing of him bad wins him an award. That's just too perfect. Like, the room needs that as the cap off.
And then when he wins, he gets Tommy Wiseau to accept the award, and no one knows the difference.
Oh my God. My whole life I want to make American movie film because I love it so much. Like a real James Dean. I want to thank Mark. I want to thank everybody. And then, I don't know, he'll drop his pants or do something weird, Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
He'll try and do a rock and roll crowd dive, but no one will catch him. And they're like, why did that crazy man jump off? Or no, better yet, he goes up to accept his award and he pulls off the mask and it's like, it was me, Laurence Olivier, all along. You fell for it. I am the greatest actor in American history.
Tommy Wiseau is the new Andy Kaufman creation.
Yes. Andy Kaufman never actually died. He just became Tommy Wiseau. And this has been the longest con in human history. And everyone's like, wow, 2017 is really fucking weird. What a weird-ass year this is. So on that note, everyone, thank you for listening. As always, we'll hope you'll comment down below. Give us a like, give us a share. Share us with all your friends, especially in this holiday season. And hey, if you're looking to buy something, Matt and I both have Book Depository links down in the description. It's a great place to buy comic book trades, either for yourself or as a gift idea. And if you do buy through our particular link, not only do you get a great deal, but you support me and him at the same time. Ain't that nice?
It's very nice. And we both have TeePublic stores as well.
We do. I just put up a new Comic Multiverse shirt, and Matt put up a bunch of new shirts himself.
Yeah, over on mine, there's all different types of stuff, and there's going to be heaps more coming.
Yep. And hey, if you're a patron, that means you're going to actually get to listen to this episode and see this episode first before anyone else late Sunday night. And won't that be a treat? You can become a patron as you want for as little as $1 a month.
That's pretty good.
Okay, and now that I'm completely done with shill mode, I'm going to officially end the episode. Thank you, everyone. We will be back again next week. I don't know if it's going to be an official show next week, Matt, or if we're going to do a commentary next week. We're going to have to figure that shit out.
Yeah, we're getting close to Christmas, and we're going to need some time off.
We're getting very close. We're going to need some time off. And I also got to bank shows with you, and I got to bank shows with the other people I do shows with as well. So it's going to be a crazy-ass December, everyone. But you're going to have lots of content, we promise. And we're going to do the Spider-Man commentary, and we're trying to work on something special for a Christmas commentary. Again, people who remember Matt and me back at the old outfit, what we used to do around Christmas time, we want to do something like that again, and we want to kind of wrangle some special guests for that one.
Sounds good.
All right, so with that, everyone, I bid you a goodbye.
Bye.